Okay, so you want to make money in the markets, but you don't want to be a trader, or the thought of that just scares you because you've seen so many people fail. Today, we're going to talk about a strategy that once you just understand the terminology, it's actually not as scary as it sounds. And we're going to break everything down. We're going to do it. We've talked about this before, the wheel strategy. We're going to jump into this. And Mike's here. While I could just single handedly do this whole thing, I do trade for a living, right? I made much more money than Mike did today, but I do the wheel strategy and I trade. Mike 100% just does the wheel strategy. He's got a job, this is what he does, and this will replace his income. It's growing. I don't know, when's the last time you've even had a loss?
Uh,
Since we had that talk where
I
things changed.
I took a loss intentionally about a month ago,
Okay.
because I wanted to free up that cash when
Okay.
whenever we were talking about buying Nvidia.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But before
So
that, but before that, it had been about 6 months before I had a loss.
okay, and that was after we had. So I don't want to sell anybody a pipe dreamer. You'll never fail. But the I guess the success rate really is in the 90s, 95. So it's the exact opposite of what everyone hears, that 95% fail, which
Right.
is funny because often when I'm explaining this, I tell people it's like being the slot machine and the person coming up to you and pulling that lever, and just thinking they're going to win big. We sell to the gamblers is what we're doing. We sell. So the wheel strategy is selling options contracts, which people get scared with stocks, let alone jumping into options, which is it's a contract for 100 shares. That's really all it is. Contract for 100 shares. It's, hey, I have 100 shares of stock. I will sell it to you at this price. What do you say? Guy's going to say yes. He's going to say, I'm going to pay this much, just like you would when you're buying a house. That's a deposit for paying rent. However you want to view it, the rental strategy is, or like the rental analogy, I think is the best one. Do you have another way to put that?
So depending on which part of the wheel strategy I'm looking at. So the first one, I'm getting paid to acquire shares at a price that I'm comfortable with.
Mm-hmm.
The second is I'm getting paid to sell my shares at a price I'm comfortable with.
Right.
So that's basically it.
So to break this down, you want ticker AAA. No, that's an actual ticker. You want ticker A. Now this ticker, this stock is $100. $100 per share. Now you're comfortable with buying it at $95 a share. So what you're going to do is sell a contract that says I will buy those shares at $95. That's the price I like it. I will buy 100 shares at $95, and someone's going to pay you for that. And what happens if it doesn't hit 95, 96? Let's say it's 95.01, or the stock goes up, it goes down a little bit sideways or up. What happens? What's that look like for you?
You just keep that premium and you can redo it the following week.
So it's a 100% play.
It is.
Yeah. So you keep it all. Okay. Now, if it drops below 95, because we've said a lot of good, someone here is already saying, what's the catch? So here is the catch, because there is one. So I do this on good tickers, and I gotta say, a lot of the failures you guys have probably seen. And if you haven't, and you know someone that has failed in the stock market, share this video with them, because a lot of people have heard buy stocks, hold it for the long game. They only go up. You've heard that a billion times. There's been over 100,000 stocks on the market. They've all heard that. There's just 6,000 stocks in the market right now. So that means all the other ones have heard that, come and gone, and left everyone who bought into those with 100% loss. So picking the right stocks is important, and we have ways to do it. And I'll be honest, guys, it's the popular ones. It's the ones that are still going to be here. Come a recession, a downturn. Like, do you really think Microsoft or Tesla is going anywhere? Maybe you think Tesla's going to go bankrupt, because who knows why. But like you think Nvidia is going to go somewhere. Microsoft, Google, Amazon. I'm doing all that on these popular stocks priced the way they are, because we go to war, we have a recession, things get rough, a Great Depression, whatever, fear mongering someone's done. These tickers, these stocks are going to survive that, and all I'm going to do is collect money in between.
Yeah.
So picking the right one is definitely a thing. So what happens to you, Mike, if you sell that 95, sell the 95 put is what you're doing. You're going to get paid $100 to do that. And right now the stock is down 90. It's down to $94. What happens now?
So on expiration date, I
Hmm.
will acquire those 100 shares for the $95 per share that I committed to.
Hmm.
So technically, I'm down on the trade, but it's shares that I want to own anyway.
Right.
It's shares.
Technically, you're actually
Yeah,
at break even.
yeah. Basically, you broke even if you get paid $100 and it's $94. You're basically at even.
Yeah.
Not that you'd want to, not that you'd want to, but you could sell them again and break even.
Right. Yeah. So again, you're going to buy the 100 shares at $95. Now it's down $1 per share, which is $100 that you're down on those shares, but you collected $100 up front. So here's the what really could happen, because by the time, this is something a lot of people gloss over, and this is what really gets you in trouble. So I want to get this over in the beginning when we're going over the basics, because people ignore this. It's very easy to pump this wheel strategy on YouTube, and I caution you guys who you're watching, because they will say some weird things. There's no such thing as a home run. We are not ever going to make thousands of percent on one play. And if it's going to pay a lot, trust me, there's a reason, and you got to pay to play. So the risk, you pick a crappy stock, right? But it's going to pay a lot. Um, and then it drops. The only way you get shares, by the way, is if it drops. So by the time we're even talking about assignment, something has already happened. So that stock drops down to $75. Okay. Now you're down, what, $2,500? Yeah.
Mhm.
You're down $2,500 less the $100 you already collected. So you're down $2,400. Now, in that moment, what we would end up doing is selling calls, but selling the 100 strike, when you're that far down, you might have to wait or give it more time. There's still plenty of options. The risk is it goes down, continues to go down, never comes back up.
Yep.
So if you were to pick a stock, and we're not scaring anybody with charts or anything right now, because that's going to see a lot of numbers. And as soon as I do that, eyes just get glossed over and people just fall asleep or run away scared. But look up ticker Peloton, PTON. Now, if you did this at the peak and it just dropped all the way down, yeah, it's going to be a tough one to come out of. In theory, you could eventually come out of it. If the stock stays sideways and stays on the market, you'll continue to sell calls. And like we talked about, you when you collected that $100, it was $1 per share. So your average cost was $99 on the first scenario, right? And you'll do that every week. So technically, your cost basis does come down. It's going to take some time on that one. So you definitely still want to have a plan, because the plan is not to just hold this till the end of time. If the stock sucks, you still have to recognize that and get out. That's why I just like to pick stuff that doesn't suck.
Yeah, and that's a risk mitigation, right? Like,
Mm.
you're not going to do this on a speculative stock. You want to do this on something that's a decent stock. You know, like you said, Amazon, Tesla, Nvidia.
Mm.
Because even if it does have a short-term downtrend, it's probably not going to be all that long unless there's something really bad happening where all stocks are down.
Yeah. Especially something like I'm just going to bring up. I'm not going to bring it up. I just want to check the actual price real quick of Apple. Apple right now is $227. Now, when it comes to this strategy we're talking about, comparatively, Apple is not really one of the better ones in the aspect of how much money are you going to collect. We're talking about 100 shares of Apple, so you're going to put up the capital for 100 shares. Now you'll get tempted, and some other people on YouTube, or some other people, some gurus, they will find another $200 stock, and it's going to pay significantly more. And that's what I mean by you got to pay to play. There is a reason why that one is paying you more. When they say there's no such thing as a free lunch, I promise you, it is not in the stock market. You will not collect another dime in the market without taking on some form of risk. All things comparing. There are ways to make more money than others. But again, we're talking about different sectors. So keeping apples to apples, if it pays more, you're taking on more risk. And if you don't know that, you just haven't found it yet. So I mean that. I'm serious. Look at it.
Yep.
Okay, so we talked about selling. Essentially, if you know what the stock market is, buying and selling shares, right? So there's limit orders where I will buy it at this price and I will sell it at this price. All we're doing is getting paid to put limit orders out there. Now, if it doesn't hit that limit order, Again, 100% play. You keep all the gambler's money. The same thing that when you put that $5 in a slot machine, pull the lever, and it's 7-7 triangle, you don't get your money back. That money's gone. So that money's effectively already in your account. You just get to try again. And this is great because there's a lot of gamblers that just have no idea what they're doing. And the best perk about this at all, and why a lot of people fail, and you can chime in on this too, but execution. Because when I'm buying shares, I have to be right before the move happens. I have to know a move is coming, buy it, and then the move happens. Then I'm right, and then I take profit. Where options, I get to wait for the move. So you wait for the move. When stocks shoot up, the gamblers just come piling in, and then I sell my calls because they're juiced up. I make more money that way. That's how I make more. I wait for the move and then take my play. The best example I heard the other day was let's imagine Mike and I are playing rock paper scissors. I get to wait until he makes his choice, and then I get to throw mine down. You know how hard it would be to lose that? Like, I wait, Mike throws down rock. Okay, I'm going to play paper. That's really how it is when it comes to selling options. You wait for the move, and then you take your play, which is why it is so much more effective, why you can make so much more money consistently. Because what we're talking about in general, again, going back to the wheel strategy, is not trading. That is an income strategy for paying bills. You can use it to grow your account, but eventually that is an income strategy. So I make thousands a week just doing this. And I need 3 brain cells to go into my app and just sell the options contract and take it away. I think Mike needs 4. That's
appreciate that. Something you said a second ago, actually, was really spot on. It's basically putting a limited order in to acquire shares or sell shares. However, we are getting paid to do it.
Yes. Yeah. And this isn't a hack. This isn't some cheat code. This is something all the money managers are doing and know about. But because people love to gamble, and we're talking about making 1% a week. Now, this is account. Your account is 1% a week, not 1% on the play, but you're probably using most of your capital. 1% a week. No one comes into the stock market thinking I'm going to make that. They come in thinking I want 100%, I want 400%. I saw on Instagram this guy made 1,200%. They're trying to do something crazy, and I call those Instagram plays for a reason. But selling options never comes to that. People don't ever get this far because they spend too much time looking at the shiny stuff like a raccoon. They never get to this part where they can just use this to pay bills. Like, this is what's mind-blowing and why I want to shake some people, because there's been plenty of people who are like, hey, let's just start with this. Let's get some money rolling, and then we can practice trading. We can work on your execution as a trader somewhere else, be a paper account, different account. Like, let's leave investments alone. Let's get this wheel turning. Let's get some income going at least, so you're getting paid for your time.
Yeah.
And then you have no idea how many people have just I can hold their hands. They will make money, but it is just not thousands of percent like they saw someone do on GameStop.
Yeah.
Like, man, you are looking at the Instagram of trades, or you're finally looking at a trader, and not to put myself in this category. I've been doing this for 11 years. They think they're going to make what I make as a trader day 1, day 2, like 11 years how long I've been doing it. You're just going to hop in and watch a couple of YouTube videos and you got this? Yeah. Unfortunately, it is not that easy. And you're silly if you think it is.
It's not funny. However, I have had a few people who are in our group who I have trained on how to do this, and they'll be successful, making money every week, and then go blow it all on one trade. It's I feel really bad when that happens.
Yeah, well, at least it's casino. I hate saying casino money. At least it was money they made in the market. So they got set back their time for sure.
Yeah.
But it wasn't rent money,
They'll spend a month or two and they'll say, "Hey, this is working really well," and then they'll go, "I'm going to make this crazy trade that I found on Reddit." It's like, oh my god, come on, dude.
100% reminds me of the time I went to the casino. So I used to go to the casino quite a bit, but I didn't play anything until I knew how things worked, how the casino made money. And so after talking to one of the dealers, I found out roulette. There's different wheel speeds. There's different ball weights. There's all the different factors. It's designed to be random. They don't want repeating factors. Okay. So once I found that out, so you know what roulette is? They got all the numbers, right? So you can bet on the columns. There's 3 columns. Now it pays 2 to 1. So since they don't like repeating patterns, the one that just landed, I would bet on the other 2. I would take a loss. The other one pays 2 to 1, so it covers that loss, and I make some money. That's all I do when I play roulette, and it's just slow and consistent. And each time when I win, I just throw another chip on there, and I just let it build up and let it build. So if you ever come to me and there's just a whole stack, it just means I haven't lost in a while.
Right.
That's it. So I tell that buddy about this. I'm like, just do this. So he does. He's down to his last like $10, does it, gets up to $200, and he goes, okay, Joe's got this now. Speaking of third, puts it all on 2 numbers and loses it. I'm like, what just happened? I just like everything was working. You just jumped out of a moving vehicle on the highway. Like, this is my stop. I'm out, and just opened the door and peaced out. Like doing 80 on the freeway. Like that blew my mind. I about fell over laughing. I was like, you see what you just did? And I've watched people do it time and time again. Yeah. And for the life of me, I just don't get why.
Yeah, it's that FOMO that everyone gets, right? They want to make the big dollars right away. Yeah. The thing is, if and I've done this in Excel spreadsheets, if you just map this out for a few years, that big money starts coming in a few years. Like it's slow at first, but just watch it build up. Like it is insane how fast you can start. Well, not how fast. It is insane how big the numbers become after a few years.
Yeah, it's insane how fast it clicks. Because it is, I will say, because I like where you're going when you said fast, because I'm thinking turbo. When it starts to spool, it gets going. And that's when the horsepower really starts coming. Because the thousands these guys hope to make on one trade, I make every week. And that's not to brag. It's just because you're looking at me at the top of Mount Everest. What's that meme where it's like everybody wants the success, but they only see the top. They ignore the whole mountain climb there. Right. You gotta put in those reps just to even get there. Yep. But there is no looking back. Like, so when someone like you comes up and says, I want to perfect this, I don't even want to trade. That is literally never no problem for me, because I'm like, perfect. At least they're not going to blow your account one day. You know? And I'm not going to just wake up to that DM of, hey, here's what I tried and it didn't work. You know, like I hate waking up to those. I'm like, God.
So not only not blown up my account, I've sent you the actual screenshots of my account rising every month.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And so you can verify that. Like this is no joke. Like it's just clicking up every month.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's something I've thought about in my group, because I don't like people posting P&Ls, because that does just give FOMO. Everyone's got a different account. Right. But for anybody to be talking of any authority, I will say, because there's another person in there, I've already checked everything out, because it's still 100% on my name. So yeah, I can vouch for it. I know where you're I know where you're going, and I know you're on track, which is going to be amazing. Because lately the conversations I've been having, Mike, is don't quit your job. Like you doubled your income, one more year, and then what's one more year after that? Wait till the robots take over. Ride this ship out until the end. But it becomes a lot easier, because you know what people do ask me all the time is, when should I quit my job? I'm like, one day you're going to wake up and not go to work. You're not going to text your boss. Like you're just going to go right back to sleep. Right. When you get to that stage, that's when you can. But that's the only time you can. If you're still budgeting, if you're still doing all that, it's a no go. But getting some reps in like this, it becomes easy. One day you're just going to wake up and say, nah, I'm going to turn that alarm clock off and go right back to bed. My group makes fun of me for that all too much. But okay, one more thing. Right now, the wheel strategy is working amazing. But there are times, so this ebbs and flows, because there are times where you don't want to be selling, you want to be an options buyer. So again, before it's the end all be all, this does fluctuate with the market. Now, however, you will still make money. There are ways to not ways to do it. You're just still doing the same thing. But there are super bullish markets, there's sideways markets, there's down markets. There's ways to tweak in those markets. You do need to know those aspects. But because I know the one problem I do see on YouTube a lot is people will pump their strategy. I'm not going to call them liars. They're not scamming anybody. What they're showing probably does work. It just probably works for that time period. All the gurus came out in 2021 talking about how they were making money. I made fun of most of them, but not even being mean. I just knew the things they were saying were stupid, and I just knew it wasn't going to last. Not to say they didn't, but that's the tough part is you don't know what you don't know. And this strategy is one of the more resilient ones. Again, you're not going to make the thousands of percents, but you will make thousands of dollars every week. And it is a trade I take once a week, sometimes twice. I guess I technically have to say that because sometimes it's you lock it in and get back in. But if you only did this on Friday,
then that's what I do.
You would still be a winner. Yeah. In fact, because my trading bot, and we'll end it here because my trading bot was a bot just for this. And it was systematic. It was Friday at noon, made the trade, and it paid a lot of money. I still have the bot, but I can't sell the bot unless I get my license, and no one wants to sponsor me to get my license and still have So I'm like, I still like talking to people. I'm not going to throw everything away and then go trade. Because I was like, look at Edward Jones. I'm going to throw everything away and then not do it. It's like, thanks, but no, unfortunately, I can't afford that. Like that's way too much. Way too much of a pay cut. All right, so we'll wrap it up here. Of course. What's that?
So in conclusion,
yes.
If you're new, I would say if you're new to investing or new to trying to make money in the stock market, this is a good way to have a low risk trade and get your feet wet in the market.
I wouldn't even say. I mean, if you're new, if you're experienced, there's just some people that have never touched the options market. This is 1,000%, without a doubt, should be a tool you have in your chest.
Yeah.
No questions asked, no ifs, ands, or buts. Because one, if you understand this, it will make you a better trader. You'll understand where the gamblers are and where the real money's at. It's something I go over every Sunday on the Sunday live streams for this particular reason. So we do have plenty more videos coming out about this. I'm trying to go as easy as I can. We might even bring up charts in the next one and show some people. I don't want anybody getting scared. But again, you need to be on this. If you want to jump in and just do it while you learn, that's what the Patreon's for. It will be the top pinned comment on these videos. But again, you jump in. Mike's live Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I'm live every night. And of course, we're in the chat all day. So if you have any questions, just chime in. I would only assume if you joined and didn't ask questions, you either A, got it figured out, or B, you're dumb for not asking questions. I don't know. I know it's like a nice way to put that, but don't think it's a stupid question. It's stupid if you don't ask. Anyway, check all that out. But stick around because in this series, you'll know everything you need to know to actually be able to do it. So any final thoughts?
No, I think you covered it.
Awesome. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we will see you in the next one. Have a good one.
See ya.